You open your eyes in the morning. The traffic is deadlocked, the internet is down, a colleague has deliberately undermined your work, or someone out on the street has unjustly trampled on your rights. You know that rising heat inside you all too well, that suffocating lump of rage marching straight up toward your throat. Your heart races, your fists clench, and that toxic word hijacks your consciousness. Oh, injustice! Right at that exact moment, we fall into the deadly trap that the Stoics called the ultimate human error, the illusion that we can control the events of the outside world. Think of the historical record left behind by Epictetus, documented by Tacitus in the Annals. When Emperor Nero sent military tribunes to deliver a forced suicide decree to Paetus, while he was sitting in his garden surrounded by grieving friends and family, Paetus did not curse the heavens, break down in tears, or scream at the injustice. He calmly opened his veins, sprinkled a few drops of blood on the ground as a libation to Jupiter, the liberator, and turned to his companions with serene composure, accepting the unchangeable reality without a single ounce of panic. The human brain was programmed by millions of years of evolutionary inheritance to battle threats. When our ancestors spotted a predatory beast lunging from the brush, they grew furious, flooded with adrenaline, and launched into a counterattack. But in the modern world, the things threatening us are not tigers. They are someone's crass rudeness, a selfish driver on the highway, or the ruthless fluctuations of the economy. You can fight a tiger, but you cannot physically fight someone's immorality. Emperor Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, whispered this agonizing truth to his journal every single morning amidst that colossal ocean of power. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot distinguish good from evil. But I have seen the beauty of good and the ugliness of evil, and I have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood or birth, but the same mind. Here, the first lock of that secret is unlatched. Rage is never born from external events. It is born from the toxic meaning your own mind assigns to those events. The traffic is not inherently jammed. You make your soul suffer by thinking you are trapped in it. People are not inherently rude. You allow their rudeness to bleed into your mind. Events are merely events. What turns them into a living hell is your own interpretation. Epictetus lived through documented historical realities of severe physical hardship as a freedman and philosopher, eventually being banished from Rome by Emperor Domitian, along with all other philosophers in the city. When forced into exile away from his home and school, Epictetus did not curse the Roman state or wallow in bitter resentment. Instead, he calmly packed his teachings, knowing precisely where his boundaries lay. What forged him into that iron will was the core principle of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus slices the world cleanly in two with a razor blade. Things in your control, your thoughts, your intentions, your decisions, your desires, and your own actions. Things not in your control, what other people say, the cruelty of the outside world, the weather, the past, the future, the aging of your body, and the toxic gossip others spread about you. Those mysterious people who remain calm while everyone else flashes with fury never waste a single drop of mental energy on areas outside their control. Picture this before your eyes. A fierce storm has broken out, and monstrous waves are crashing down upon you. You rush to the shore and begin screaming at the top of your lungs. "You waves! Stop! Why are you coming at me? This is completely unfair. Do the waves listen to you? No! They roll right over you and drown you." The person who remains calm is the master captain in the middle of that very storm. They know they cannot alter the fury of the waves. Therefore, they direct their energy, not toward fighting the ocean, but toward holding the wheel tight and adjusting the sails precisely. When people yell at you, treat you unjustly, or spread slander, those words exist entirely outside of your control. You cannot force them to shut up, but you alone decide whether those words plunge like a dagger into your heart. Those who stay calm perform that split-second calculation. Is this situation in my control? No. Then is it worth poisoning my soul? Absolutely not. Seneca, in his surviving treatise on anger, defines rage as a temporary madness. A single sentence spoken at the peak of anger, a single threatening remark, can reduce careers, marriages, and friendships, woven thread by thread over years, to ashes in mere seconds. History records Seneca's own real-world balancing act as the primary political advisor and speechwriter to the erratic young Emperor Nero, operating under intense political pressure where royal outbursts could mean immediate execution. Seneca mastered the art of non-reactive diplomacy. When political opponents hurled malicious slanders in the imperial court, Seneca did not engage in shouting matches. He maintained a detached, strategic silence, letting the hysteria of his detractors collapse under its own weight. So, how do those calm people, miraculously, escape tumbling into that pit of madness? Their secret weapon is the art of buying time. The moment anger first arrives, it is an unstoppable tsunami. The emotional center of our brain, with the amygdala, takes over and completely bypasses our logical center, the prefrontal cortex. This is why every single word you utter while angry is a catastrophe. Everyone else reacts instantly when angry. The other person screams, so they scream louder. It is a ping-pong match destined for total destruction. The calm person, however, abruptly drops their racket on the table. They take a deep, ice-cold breath. They count quietly to 3 or 10. They ask themselves this freezing question: do I really have to react to this situation right this second? The answer is a resounding no every single time. In life, no crisis has ever caused more damage than speaking without taking 2 seconds to think. That calm person creates that unsettling silence right before speaking. While that silence drives everyone else insane, it weaves an impregnable fortress wall around them. In the second of that silence, the initial venom of anger burns out, and logic takes the throne. One of the most shattering concepts of Stoicism, one that backs you into a corner, is amor fati, meaning love your fate. When something bad and unjust happens to an ordinary person, they crawl straight into a victim mentality. Why me? Why did this disaster pick me? How unlucky I am. These questions drag a person straight into the swamp of rage, helplessness, and the thirst for revenge. Consider the historically verified resilience of figures like Marcus Aurelius himself, who spent years commanding military campaigns along the freezing Danubian frontier, while simultaneously managing a devastating plague that wiped out millions across the empire. Instead of whining about his wretched luck or lashing out at the unfairness of a pandemic, Marcus wrote his private reflections by candlelight in his tent, treating the crisis as an unyielding test of duty. Those wise souls capable of staying calm view the blows, obstacles, and betrayals thrown at their feet through an entirely different lens. This is the flawless weight handed to me by the universe to forge my character. Suppose someone goes behind your back and sabotages you at work. Everyone else loses their mind, kicks up dust, and plots revenge. That calm person, however, smiles internally and says, "Brilliant. The universe has sent me a flawless trainer to build up my muscles of patience, endurance, and mental toughness." Marcus Aurelius sums this up with a flawless maxim: the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Rage is the desire to fight against the resistance you encounter. The Stoic, however, does not fight resistance. They embrace it, turning that very resistance into their own momentum. The harder and wilder the wind blows, the more immaculate the maneuver executed by the master captain. Storms smash weak boats to pieces, but they turn master sailors into legends. 99% of people blame the external person when they get angry. They drove me crazy. They pushed me over the edge. It's entirely their fault I'm like this. This is the exact lie that Stoicism has sworn to rip out by its roots. No human being can make you angry. You choose to get angry through your own free will. A person merely hands you external raw material from the outside, but your own mind is the sculptor carving the monster of rage out of that material. Those extraordinary people who remain calm know this through bitter experience. They realize there is nobody outside to blame. When someone attacks them and a spark of anger ignites within, instead of vomiting it outward, they instantly turn inward and put their own inner world under a microscope. Why did this comment cut me so deeply? Which hidden fear of mine was triggered? Which fragile nerve of my ego was stepped on? As Seneca warned centuries ago, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Those who stay calm know their own inner weaknesses. An ego, bloated with pride, shatters at every gust of wind because its roots are shallow. The roots of a Stoic, however, reach down into the deepest layers of the earth. No matter how violently the trunk sways, the soul never topples over. Philosophy is lovely, and theory is fascinating. So, how do you put this secret into practice? Within milliseconds tomorrow morning, when you face that infuriating person at work, or when they cut you off on the highway. Here is the Stoic emergency protocol that those calm people carry in their minds at all times. Step 1. The physical break. The exact millisecond you feel anger crawling through your veins, physically freeze your body. Take one step back, uncross your arms and let your hands hang loose. This sends a biological signal to your brain, telling it to exit attack mode. Step 2. The split. Watch yourself from above, from the outside. How do I look to someone watching right now? Am I a weak soul caught in a ridiculous fit of rage, or someone sitting firmly on their throne in the middle of a storm? This mental distance plunges the emotion into the icy waters of logic. Step 3. The time scale. Ask yourself this ruthless question. Will this situation matter in my life 5 years from now? Who will even remember what happened today, 100 years from now? Viewed on a universal scale, the event driving you crazy right then is smaller than a single grain of sand in the desert. Step 4. The silent weapon. Do not reply. The person facing you expects you to lose your mind and scream and drop down to their level. Your ice-cold silence completely neutralizes all of their weapons. In this entire world, there is absolutely nothing that drives someone burning with rage crazier than the unshakable silence of the person standing right in front of them. In a world where everyone else succumbs to their flaws and burns with rage, staying calm is not a virtue. It is absolute dominion. This means becoming the king of the empire of your own mind and refusing to bow down before the chaotic winds of the outside world. That secret does not hide in complex labyrinths or secret texts. That secret is this naked truth. You cannot change the direction of the world, but you can choose your posture against the world every single second. From now on, whenever someone tries to drive you out of your mind, treats you unjustly, or when everyone around you goes up in flames, take a deep breath, plant that slight, proud smile upon your face, and whisper that ancient truth to your inner self. The storm, trying to tear me apart, only proves just how solidly, how indestructibly I have been built. You know the secret now. Now it is your turn to be the calmest person in that room.